Hey guys, I'm on page 12 of your quadratics part 2 packet. I wanted to look over number 3 with you guys. I don't know what was going on in class and we were rushed for time and all that, so I found an easier way. I think this is actually easier explanation-wise for you guys to follow. So I will explain what's on this paper and then I'll redo it so you guys can see it. So I started off adding 5 to each side. Okay, so then I got this. Then I factored out that negative just like we did in class. And in class, I don't know why I was stuck. But we can do that just like Bailey said. And then when I go to put the 9 back here for completing the square, I take half of 6, which is 2. Which is 3. I square it, which is 9. But then when I add it over here, I have to add the negative 9 because it's really a minus because I took out that negative. Just like when we factored out like a 2 or a 3, we put it back in when we put it over here. So that was the trick that I just could not think of this morning. So I apologize. So the 9 goes here, the negative 9 goes here. You factor this accordingly, your negative still hanging out. So then you move this 4 back over to be in the vertex form. Okay, so now this is vertex form. So you can get your HK from here, so that's your vertex. Your axis of symmetry comes from that x coordinate. Then you want your roots. So you use the same equation. When are you at the x-axis? When y is 0. So you make y 0, and then you solve like you normally would. You get 5 and, what did I get? 1. Okay, so let me do it from the start, in case you didn't follow what was there. So y equals negative x squared plus 6x minus 5. So I'm going to complete the square. So I'm going to move this c, which is 5, over to the other side. Okay, so I got 5 plus y equals negative x squared plus 6x. Now I can't complete the square with a negative here. So I'm going to factor it out. Okay, now I'm going to complete the square on the right side. So half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. But now on the left side, I really, because I took this negative out, I really have a negative 9 here. So I really add a negative 9 over here. So I simplify the left side. I factor the right side. Now to go into vertex form, I'm going to add the 4. Okay, so remember that's the A. It's in the back, K, right? Yeah. So this is our format. Remember that the vertex is really H, K. Watch that sign change. So that's really 3, 4. The axis of symmetry is a vertical line through that x coordinate. And then you got to get your roots. So to get the roots, that's where the y-axis is, or the y coordinate is 0, so that you're on the x-axis. So I make y 0. Oh, you can't see that, so sorry. So I make x 0. Oh my gosh, I can't even speak it right now. Sorry. I make y 0. Heavens to Betsy. Make y 0, guys, and then solve. So, subtract 4. Okay, now, Before I can square root, I got to get rid of the negative. Okay, now I got to get rid of the square. So now I can square root. Okay, now I'm going to split. And I'm going to solve. So my roots are 1 and 5, which, sorry, again, you can't see, or 1 and 5 in set notation. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I think that way is actually easier for you to understand and to follow about why this negative is there. Okay, basically you should be able to check yourself because you have the original equation, which was this, and you know a is -1. So you still need a to be -1 when you're in vertex form, which it is right here. Same thing as if that was a 2. Like if this was a 2x squared plus 4x minus 12. When I'm in vertex form, then that a needs to be a 2 if this was my original equation. So if this is my original equation, then that a has to be a 2. Okay, this actually is number 5 on your note sheet there, page 12. So let's actually do that one and see how you guys do with it. So there it goes. So number 5 started off as y equals 2x squared plus 4x minus 12. Okay, so if we're going to complete the square, I can get rid of this, move c over. Okay, now I'm going to pull out the GCF. Now I'm going to complete the square. Half of 2 is 1, and 1 squared is 1, but that 2 was out there, so I'm really going to add a 2 over here. Okay, so simplify that. Factor this. Okay. Now to get it back into vertex form, I'm going to subtract 14. So that's vertex form. So now I can pull from it my vertex, which is going to be -1, -14. Okay, then I can pull my axis of symmetry, which is going to be x equals -1. And then, of course, I have to find my roots. So to find my roots, I can use my equation. And in order to cross the x-axis, y has to be 0. And then I'm going to just do algebra. Another one that's not going to be really pretty. And those are your roots. Okay, not real pretty, but that's what they are. If you put it in your calculator, you'd have the square root of 7 minus 1 as one of your roots, and then the other root would be negative square root of 7 minus 1 as the other root. So those are your roots. Okay, so those, whoop, will go up there for your roots. Oh, heavens to Betsy, you can't see it again. All right. So, I don't know how much of this you actually saw. So, I took my vertex form, I plugged in the 0 because that's where I crossed the x-axis. I did my algebra, I square rooted, did algebra. This is what I got from my roots. Put them in, get the decimal. You'll see if you trace on your calculator, you will get very, very close to those points. If you actually calculate the 0, go into your calculate menu, pick 0, left bound, right bound, guess, you'll get the decimal versions of those. Okay, so try that on your homework, guys. I think this method is actually easier to follow. If you need to watch the video again, then watch it again. Try your best in the homework, and I'll see you guys in class.